Okay, happy Thursday. Welcome to Lunch and Learn again. We've had the most powerful lineups, and if you're new to this, welcome. This will be recorded. We will put it on the YouTube page. It's literally my name. I know, something fancy, right? So you can see past ones. We do have a Facebook page, but I was just telling the girls before the recording started that we're almost maxed out on Facebook. And I don't know what happens when that happens. I guess nobody else can get in there. I don't know what the rules on that are. I've never had that happen before. Um, guess I'll learn, right? But welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm just so grateful for all the people the speakers. I want you to pray for them every week and over them through our entire seminar year. Because here's the thing, my friends, these women might not even be in your seminar division. I don't care if the ink is wet on your agreement all the way to national. Anybody can be part of this call. Some people send it to their people in other countries and they have it translated. I think that's so powerful. And what I love this is a place for like minds to come together, lift and build each other up, camaraderie midweek, because some of us might not have a national, some of us might not, have a weekly meeting since COVID. That still isn't a thing in some areas. So I love this unity, and anyone's welcome. However you learned about it, here's how you get the recording. You have to, everyone just be patient with me, because my office girl isn't here at the end of the week, but she does that for me, and she kind of does it on her own time. And it's because let's face the fact, me and technology are not friends. We're lucky I'm running this, okay? So that's just how that is. So we need her to do that. But it'll be on my YouTube, probably quicker. But then I'll get that recording. She'll convert it from Zoom to YouTube. I'll put it on the Facebook. And if you're part of any other group that I happen to post in, like Voxer or some of the other groups, and that's where you saw it, it'll be there too. So anything you saw me post in, I will put the recording in those. I just don't put it in additional ones. And I love you all for inviting me to so many. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would just spend all day copy and pasting to put in every single group. And well, I don't know. I got some product to sell, some people to change lives. So I'm happy for that. So we have the amazing friend of mine, Sandy Griffith, and I am so honored because I've had the privilege to know Sandy for a lot of years. My national Carrie Buskirk and her are very good friends, and so when we'd have retreats and stuff, I've not just known her in the Mary Kay world, but gotten to be around her at retreats and stuff personally. And when I tell you the true deal, epitome of Mary Kay, and that's who I try to bring you every week, are power leaders that you may not see all the time, because you might not be in the same division. But I want people that have work ethic, integrity, excellence, that love Mary Kay, the company, love the women around them, inspire them, and truly one of the most go give women I have ever had the privilege of being in presence of. And Sandy, I love you, friend. I appreciate you so much because I know how busy you are. Trip winning Sandy, she does all the things. She's a powerhouse, a force to be reckoned with. And I want you to know how much I love you and I adore you. And thank you for doing this for so many women. As you see, it just keeps coming. It's insane. And I'm gonna mute. Are you okay if I spotlight you? Does that bother you?
No, however you want to do it.
Okay, and you're okay. I did ask you, but I just want to make sure you're okay if I record, right?
Yes.
People are like, I don't want to be recorded. And I was like, oh, so, and that's fine. I guess people live get them, but I will check that because
Yeah.
Fred, thank you for all you're going to give all these women. And I'm going to be quiet and work all the background magic.
Well, and thank you for doing that. Thanks for asking, Jennifer. I think this is. I just thank you, Jennifer, for this evolving. I think I remember way back in the day, way back when you kind of first started doing it. I think we just did a conference call. I remember that I was on it, and it's just such an incredible gift that you give to the Mary Kay world. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, okay. I want you to know I have notes because if I didn't, I would ramble or I'd keep you on until 4:15. So I have notes I'm going to be using. I just want to say I have to just tell you about my unit. I'm so proud of the ladies, and I saw a couple of them on the screen already. And I'm just so proud of my unit. We came in number 10 in the Diamond Division last year, our highest ever. And I must say, I never thought that would be happening when I was 73.
Forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Hold on, I'll find it. Go ahead.
Anyway, so God just blessed us so much last year. And I think he's going to keep blessing us this year too. But I just have to say how proud I am of my units and superstars. When Mary Kay Cosmetics opened in 1963, one of her first original consultants was her longtime friend, Daleen White. And Daleen eventually recruited Isla Burgart, who was the first consultant in Kansas, where I live. And Isla recruited the wild and crazy Judy Newton, who became an NSD. And then she in turn had a spinoff named Daleen Hartshorn. And Daleen and I grew up together. So she sponsored me. So I feel really privileged. I have such a short line directly to Mary Kay because that means I just have Mary Kay training. I say my blood runs pink. I have Mary Kay Cosmetics is in my DNA, and it really is true. It's been I just can't tell you. I could tell you story after story after story of how what I've learned through the company has impacted my spiritual life, my family, just so many other areas. And I know many of you have enough longevity. You've experienced that. If you haven't yet, you will. Yeah. So when I first came into Mary Kay, I was 23 years old. I was teaching high school English. I had a terrible complexion. I'd been on antibiotics for years. And I got up in the morning, even before my husband, excuse me, I got this little thing sticking up here. It's driving me crazy. Got up before my husband, put on a lot of foundation. But anything else I did at the stoplights, drive on my 30-minute commute to where I taught school. And I have to tell you what I drove too. I drove a rusted out um 69 Rambler. I know you can't even imagine 69. What does that look like? Anyway, no air conditioning, stick on the floor, no radio, and there was a hole in the floorboard. So when I went through a puddle, water gushed in. And I can promise you, nobody looked around and said, she's got staying power. She's gonna learn. She's gonna be great. Nobody would have said that. She's going to drive Cadillacs for 40 years. No way. But what I saw in this company as I started attending, in fact, the first meeting I went to before I signed, I thought these women are putting on quite a show. They're all smiling, laughing, they're talking to each other, patting each other on the back. And I remember thinking, they're putting on quite a show for me. Is that funny? Like I was that important, but I couldn't believe it was real. Well, I know some of you had a similar experience. I know you did. Okay, you gotta check my notes here to keep me on top of this. Oh, this I'm going to share because it may help some of you. I deal with multiple autoimmune diseases and some health challenges. And had I stayed in teaching or any other job, I would have been on disability years and years and years ago. So we need to be so thankful that we have the flexibility to work from home and to earn the car we want, to earn the money we want. But ladies, it's not the same thing as not having a job. Your home base is where your job is. You got to work. You got to work. And sometimes you have to work really hard when you can, because there might be other times when you can't. I was just telling a friend the other day, I said, I think it was after I became a director, I finally went, oh, I think I get it now. I got to like hold parties all the time and recruit all the time. I don't know what I thought what it was going to be like, but excuse me. But I think I really learned the business after I debuted as a director. I suggest doing the reverse on that. What does it take to move up? Master booking, master closing, master team building. Those are all things that they're just basic skills, and you'll use them forever. Once you learn them, you've got them forever. That never changes. I can't say that I have loved every single moment, every single decision the company has made, every single thing that has happened. I'm going to tell you a little funny story. My dad was, I've been single for 40 some years, and my dad was my number one cheerleader. And some days he would call me, he goes, well, Okay, how you doing? Who's leading the leader today? Who's motivating the motivator? And on a particularly challenging day, this was our joke. I'd say, Dad, can you pick up an application from Dillard's? And we would both laugh. He said, do you need to talk it through? And most of the time I'd say, no, just having a challenge. And ladies, I want you to know you are going to have challenges. Not every day is going to be perfect. That's what separates the talkers and the walkers. That's what separates the haves and the haves not. It's what do you do when things are not where you want them to be? That's when you push ahead, you stretch more, you infuse yourself with new ideas, or more than anything, it's just that belief. It's the motivational reading, it's going back to Mary Kay's autobiography, it's listening to the podcast, all those things that we have. You just got to fill yourself up because it's nobody else's job. It isn't. Okay. Um, if the company had never changed, and I go way back, next May will be 50 years that I've been with Mary Kay.
Wow.
And if the company had never changed, Mary Kay would simply be a page in the history. We have to change. And you know what I probably miss the most? Some of you might be have enough longevity to know what I really miss the most is when it was more personal. And I would go to seminar. So he said, why do you keep going to seminar? I said, can't wait for the staff to recognize me and know me. And now that we've got bigger, that doesn't happen as much. And because I am not able to go on the top director trips, I don't get to rub shoulders there. And I miss that. I do. But there's so many other good things. This company on your worst day, this is better than anything else. Period. I believe that. We are the premier job opportunity for women in the world. Premier, number one. Mary Kay used to say sometimes, especially when there was some kind of a change that we don't like change too much, do we? Some kind of change, and she would say, well, we may not be perfect. Well, I know we're not perfect, but we will always strive to be the ideal. I remember that so clearly. I could probably go back to where I was sitting in that hotel room at leadership and find that spot. That rung true to me. Okay. What I know without a shadow of a doubt, this is the best place you can possibly be. I had a party Sunday night with 6 people. I only had known one of them, the hostess. And I said, now, you guys, somebody started asking me some technical questions. I said, listen, ladies, I wish I had some of my unit members here. They're skincare specialists and they know some science and they know all the pretty words. I don't know those things. Let me tell you, I know this product works. I can pick out what's right for you. I will stand behind it with a satisfaction guarantee until you love it. That's how confident I am. And it was a great party. We had a wonderful time. It's still not closed. It's over 700 so far. But I just share that because you don't have to be good at every single aspect. And run with your strengths. What are you really good at? Is the people? Is it making the connections? Then run with that. If you're a great person for explaining the science and knowing what I call the pretty words, the technical words, then that's your forte. But be you, but you better be the best you can be. Don't be halfway when you can do full out. Okay, let me tell you a few memories. One of my favorites is I think this was my first or second year, and Mary Kay was going to be in Oklahoma City, and which is like 3 hours from Dallas. And while she was there, they decided, oh, well, we need to do something so people can earn a chance to be with her. And I thought, what do I have to do? Well, the challenge was to have 2 new Great Start recruits in 1 month. So the following month, when she was there, we would get to be with her. We had breakfast with Mary Kay and 6 women. Well, I was one of the 6 in this little room. It was so wonderful. I was so nervous. would you have been? I was so nervous, but I projected that I was cool and calm and confident. I don't know if it came across, but that's what I tried to project. And after we finished having breakfast, she said to everybody, "What's your goal?" And if we didn't say director, she would say, "When do you want to debut?" Every single person. And I tell you that because she wanted everyone to become a sales director so that you had a following, so that you had a group that you were leading and influencing. Because the more people we connect with, the more people we can help, we can encourage, we can help them grow. And the one thing that I heard her say over and over and over again, when people would look at her and say, "Mary Kay, I love this company. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm just so grateful." And I remember she did this to me. She took my hand, she reached down and took one of my hands, and she put her hand, my hand, and her on top, hand on top. And then she said, "Just pass it along, sweetie. Just pass it along." That's all she ever asked of us. Pass it along. So I'm going to ask you, have you passed it along enough in the last 30 or 60 days? I'm going to be honest, there's room for improvement for me. But every time I think of her saying, "Just pass it along," I really feel, when we finished eating, this was back in the days of a lip palette and everybody used a pencil. So we put our lipstick on. And then she talked a little bit more and we started to leave. And you could see the eyes of the six of us were like, "She has lipstick on her teeth. Who's going to tell her? Who's going to tell Mary Kay she's got lipstick on her teeth?" So finally, I was closest to her. So I said, "Mary Kay, you've got a lipstick on your teeth." She leaned over and she patted my arm and she said, "Don't you just hate it when no one will tell you?" Thank you. Thank you. I just thought it was so sweet, so real. She was very real. Let me tell you a couple of other experiences. One time at seminar, she was speaking. She was behind the podium, and the podium, they do it differently then now than they do then, but the podium would go up and down because she was very short, like me. And so the podium went down as she came out to speak. And she's just talking away. And she kind of moved to the side of it, like with her arm up on part of it. And who knows why? Her skirt fell to the floor. I mean, just fell to the floor. Now, that's back in the day of our suits. And so her suit was okay. It came to, like, her thigh, top of her thigh. So it wasn't bad. But Grace and humor. She reached down and she picked up her skirt and pulled it up. And she said, "Now you can tell everybody you've been to Dallas and you've seen it all." Isn't that brilliant? Just fun. She was so quick. And I don't know if she ever got flustered, but I surely never saw any signs of it. And that could have been an opportunity, I think. Um, mm, the more you believe in this company, sold out, your confidence grows faster and faster. Your team grows faster. Your customer base goes faster. You sell more product. So don't hold back from showing your enthusiasm. Someone said to me one time, she was comparing her enthusiasm to someone else's enthusiasm. And this person's enthusiasm almost was like, "I'm going to jump out on the table and grab a megaphone and tell everybody." And the person talking to me said, "That's not me. That's just not do that." And I said, don't try to be somebody else, but when you're enthusiastic, how do you feel? How do you project it? And she said, "Well, I'm not sure." And I said, "Well, let's just pretend I just handed you 10 $100 bills. I just handed you $1,000. What are you going to say to me?" And she said, "I'm going to thank you. And I'm going to be so excited." And I said, "That's your enthusiasm. Your eyes lit up, your whole face, brightened. You had a big smile. There was a breathlessness in your voice. That's your enthusiasm. Be you. But don't do it halfway. Do it all the way." Okay, let me go back to my notes. Um, oh, here's another one of my favorite ones with Mary Kay. She was again giving a speech at Dallas, and she was talking about driving to work in her pink Cadillac. And she said, "Oh, there's nothing that warms the cockles of my heart." That kind of means the corners, all the areas of your heart. Warms the cockles of my heart more than seeing a pink Cadillac with a car seat. Because I know that mom is working her business. She's working it around her family. And she said, "And you know what? I never see a pink car. And I better not." That's exactly how she did it. And you could just tell she was like, mm-hmm. No, we're not going to have any of that. She had a way of making everybody like kind of rise to the occasion to make you want to just do everything with excellence. And she instilled the confidence that you could do that. And yet at the same time, she was like the most loving, nurturing grandmother. It was the most balanced blend I've ever seen. She just, yeah, I've never met anyone like her. Never. God absolutely gave her a gift. He gave her a vision. There's no doubt about it. Can you imagine? I know she, I know she never dreamed we would have Mary Kay Cosmetics around the world. I know her dream wasn't that big. She laughed and said, she said, "I didn't ever think we'd get past Waxahachie, Texas." I'm not sure where that is, but she didn't really initially have a dream of changing the world in terms of world, but she had an intention of changing her world and the world she understood, and the world sort of that was around her. And of course, as the company just kept growing and growing, of course, her vision became bigger and bigger and bigger till I know there's no doubt at the end of her life, she I know we were already worldwide, but I know she could see more. I don't remember the timing on this exactly, but she had a stroke. And from that point on, her voice was pretty much silenced. Um, she had a few nationals she allowed to come to her home, and of course, her family. But and she couldn't say much, but she listened, and she was such an excellent communicator. I understand she could sort of make it known. But one seminar, don't know the year to this one, but she was making an appearance, and they brought her not out on stage, up from on a rising platform, and she had kind of like a real pretty little banister thing around her, and somebody on either side. And of course, people went crazy, just applauding, applauding, applauding. And she smiled and she looked fine. She looked beautiful as always. And I'll never forget this either. I bet the few of you were there. And she said, "Who had who it?" Oh, tears streamed down everybody's face because it was like that was her message. You can do it. You can. Gotta believe in yourselves. Know that you can. That was her dream for us. One of the top director trips, we were in Switzerland, which was my favorite place in the world. I've been on 2 top director trips to Switzerland. And we go on excursions, and so we're all in sometimes we're all together, and then we have excursions and get in smaller groups. So, and you never know which excursion Mary Kay's going to be on. So that's such a delight. So here we are. We're kind of in the mountains. We're in this, I can't even describe how beautiful it is. Uh, in a medium-sized boat. We're traveling around the lake, and we stop at a couple of towns. Well, this one town we stopped at, we went to a lovely store, and they had all kinds of music boxes and wood carving things and really, really nice jewelry also. Not diamonds and rubies and all that, but like really, really quality costume jewelry. So I'm standing there looking, and of course, I'm just like Mary Kay. I'm very frugal. Did you know she would wipe down her aluminum foil and reuse it? Um, anyway, so I'm looking around and I love to buy things for my home because I'm a real homebody. I'm very security driven. And can you do this business without a husband? Absolutely. In fact, as Mary Kay, this may be something else you've heard. You can do this business with a husband or without a husband, but rarely against. I found that to be true. So that's why I've been single for a few decades now, like 40 or so. Um, something like that. Anyway, where was I? Okay. Did y'all want to hear about my marriage? No. Okay, let me think. Okay. So we're standing there and looking at the jewelry and everything, and I'm debating. Okay, well, do I spend that much on that because it's kind of expensive? But it would be a memory from Switzerland. Mary Kay walks up to me and she said, "Oh, that's pretty." It was a whole set. She said, "Are you thinking about getting that?" And I said, "I am." And she said, "I'm going to get one too." And of course, at that moment, I went, that I'm getting one count on it. And she said, "Do you know how much it is?" So I figured how much it would be from francs to dollars. And she said, "Oh no, that's too much." No, she said, "I just can't do that knowing what we can buy that for back in the States from our director vendors. I just can't do that. That doesn't make sense." And so I thought, well, if Mary Kay's not going to do it, I'm not going to do it either. She used to say to the directors, she said, "I'm not as concerned about the size of your paycheck." No, how'd she say? She said, "I'm more concerned." I'm going to get this in a second. She said, "I'm not as concerned about the size of your paycheck as I am the amount you're keeping for your family." She was very, 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 probably y'all know this, very family oriented. But you know what? That to her, that meant if it's the end of the week and you've not met your sales goal, you don't do the family stuff first. You meet the sales goal first because you're doing it for your family to pay the bills, to buy groceries. And she was a single mom with 3 kids for years and years, tens and 20s, 30s. I don't even know how many years. Most of her life as a mom, single mom. Most of her time as a mom, she was a single mom. So she and the kids learned they had to help. They had to go deliver product. They have to unpack. They have to do labels. Okay, I gotta hurry. Um, so even though I'm my only family, have to, I have to be a smart businesswoman because, as I say, I'm not cute enough that strangers going to walk up and offer to pay my bill. So that's one thing you got to take care of or think about is treating this as a business. And if you want your husband to be more supportive, start paying some bills. She used to say that all the time. Pay some bills. Get a housekeeper, and then you hold an extra appointment. Pay for that. The housekeeper. You don't spend dollar time doing penny jobs. I've had a housekeeper way before I could afford one, and I have had an assistant before I had any idea what she was going to do. But I just knew Mary Kay said to do it, and we figured it out along the way. I have been abundantly blessed by God. I live in my dream home. I have 2 offices. I have the working one, and I have the pretty one for my customers, plus 3 bedrooms. And my little dog Sparkles, that was her name when I got her. And we just have a really great life. I love having people come stay with me, and I love hosting things in my home. I love it. I love it, love it. I feel so happy. I just, 99% of the time, I love my life. And the other 1% is sometimes I think I'd like a partner. And then I listen to some of you talk about your husbands, and I think, well, maybe it's okay. All right. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Let's be recording. Okay, here's what I want to tell you. One last story about Mary Kay. One of the reasons I think I've been so blessed is I have tithed ever since my business was on a profitable basis. If you don't know what that means, talk to somebody, ask them what that means. Um, at her church, they were doing a building program, and they had one Sunday, Mary Kay said, "Whatever is given this morning in the offering, I will match." And pastor said, "That's very generous, Mary Kay. Thank you so, so, so much." Well, that evening he called her and was very hesitant, him to nod around, kind of, and he's like giving her a way out. And he said, Mary Kay, we never thought we could get so much money. And you don't have to match this. Now, this was probably 30 years ago, maybe more. And what sticks in my head is $75,000. It could have been more, it could have been less, but it was a chunk. And Mary Kay said, she said, I swallowed it. I said, no, I said I would do it and I will do it. So the next morning, Richard called her and he said, "Hey, Mom, remember when I asked you if you wanted to go in with some other people to drill for oil?" He said, "Well, a couple of those oil wells came in and they're gushers." It more than covered the amount she promised her church. So that year at seminar, she gave a charm, two little shovels. One was smaller and one was larger. And she said, "You can't outgive God." So I will always remember that story. At 40 years old, I realized, okay, I'm not, well, I knew I wasn't having children biologically. I could not. But I realized, okay, it doesn't look like I might meet somebody and get some bonus kids. So what am I leaving the world with? Kind of what's my legacy? Because it won't be a bloodline. So I really kind of got kind of serious for a while thinking, what's my purpose here on earth? What am I doing? And I figured out, okay, what kind of difference do I want to make in the world? So I'm going to just read this in closing. And this has been my mission, passion, purpose for decades now. My mission is to empower women to live joy-filled, satisfying lives of financial security and to equip them to pass along all they have learned and experienced to the next generation. My 500-year goal, that'll make you think, to leave a legacy through thousands of women who make a difference in their families, and those people in turn pass that on from generation to generation. Thank you all so much. Jennifer, thank you for asking. It's been an honor. I love listening to the lunch and learns. They're great.
Aw, thank you, Fred. Hey, I'm going to share the screen real quick because Sandy shared some pictures with me that are from a while back. It has Mary Kay in them. So I thought y'all would enjoy that. So if you can't stay on, I totally understand. But 1 second, I'm going to grab them real quick. They're in my email. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Hold on, friends. Okay. Oh, let me move the bar so you can see it better. Look at that. I love it so much. All the, oh, yeah,
Me too.
that's a
The
better one.
upper right, by the way, is with Mary Kay in the middle. That is my mom and I. I sponsored my mom, and it was very healing for our relationship and a very, very, very good thing.
I love that. I love it
I've
so
been
much.
blessed. I've
Hey,
been blessed.
would you be okay if I also put that in our Lunch and Learn Facebook group?
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I always want to ask permission. Okay, well, the chat is cheering you on tremendously. I thank you so much because here's the thing,
Thank
some
you.
of you, well, obviously we'll never meet Mary Kay in person, and some of you have been in, some of us been long enough we never got to either. And so, Sandy, that is a legacy. When people have been in and got to be at the feet of the giants to get to hear those stories and to know, okay, we're all human. And yep, I mean, I probably would have done what she did if my skirt dropped. I would probably just said, "You're all welcome." I mean, I don't know what else I would have done in that moment. Sorry about it. It's just a lot in life. I mean, you just have to laugh about it. But I love it so much. Okay, I'm gonna let anybody who wants to unmute if there's a question for Sandy or anything you want to say to Sandy, because I love to affirm our speakers when they're on here, because I just deeply, deeply appreciate your time, my friend. And I will be able to see you,
Thank
so
you.
just unmute and you can start talking. There's too many of you. Scroll real quick and see. Oh, I love the chat.
Sandy, it's Carla. I just want to say thank you, and I'm going to turn off because I'm going to cry. That was amazing.
Well, thank you, Carla, so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Hearing those stories are incredible. Anybody else? We just have multiple screens, so I don't want to miss if you're putting your hand up, just unmute.
Pass it along. Mary Case.
Hey, I
Number
just
one.
wanted to let you know that this has been, thank you very much for sharing that.
Great. Well, I prayed that I would say things that people were wanting to hear that would lift and linger.
Yeah, go ahead, Jana. I see your hand.
I just wanted to say thank you because you said run with your strengths, and Carla's on here, and Carla's my, I recruited Carla, the one that was crying. And she, we're both high I personalities, and yet she can, tell you that, like, she'll mention some of the ingredients and stuff like that. And I am so not. I'm like, look, the packages looks cute. It does this, why would you want to have a wrinkle? Why, why, I'm the fun, did blah, 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 stuff like that. And so when somebody asks me if it has a certain ingredient, I'm just like, first off, I don't even know what you just said. I'm going to have to figure out first how to spell it. And once I figure out how you spelled it, then I can get back to you.
Mhm.
And it's been hilarious calling the company when I have to ask about an ingredient, because I'll tell the person at corporate, I'm like, hold on, I do not know what I'm about to say, but here's what's going on. And when they're done, they're trying not to laugh, but they finally laugh. I'm like, help. So clearly that's not my strength, but I can sell the rest of the product. So and hold the appointments and stuff like that. So thank you. So let me know that it's okay, that knowing
It is.
all the ingredients is not my strength, and that's okay.
Yeah, I frequently have to go. Most everybody comes to my house, and so I'll or I mail it out, and I'll say, I'm not sure the answer, but I'm gonna get the answer. I'm gonna print it off, and I'm gonna send it to you. And so I've done that more than once because that's what I have to do. For those of you as you mature, I want you to know that you can go to Best Buy, you can go get a lot of different electronic things. You can get more memory for your computer. You cannot buy more memory here. And eventually it gets kind of full. So you just have to go to other sources and look cute. That's my theory.
Yes, absolutely. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being part of this Lunch and Learn. Another large group. That was insane. I love this. And we'll be back again next week. And just be patient with us. I'll post the pictures today, but it usually takes sometimes she'll do it tonight. Sometimes it's not till, Friday night or Saturday morning, but we get it on there, and that way you'll have the recording to listen to over and over and over. And thank you again, Sandy.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And I adore you. And I hope you all have an amazing Thursday. Finish up those stars. Bye, ladies.